What's good, y'all? Hopefully you're doing well. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. We're going to go live. We are live. I'm sorry. We're going to go live soon here. I am going to be in Logic Pro. We're going to be doing some mixing, and we're going to be opening up plugins. I'm going to be messing with vocals. I'm going to be messing with all sorts of stuff. But this track is really sparse, so it's a big challenge. And I wanted to talk about a sparse track because a lot of times people think, oh, tracks with a lot of songs with a lot of tracks are really hard to mix, but ones with very few tracks, that's super easy. That's not the case. In my experience, it's a lot harder, a lot more difficult to mix and master a very sparse track. And this is kind of an intro to an album. So we're going to dive in. And if you guys have any questions, of course, drop them in the chat, say what's up. And at the end, we can do some Q&A as well. But for now, let's go into Logic Pro. Logic Pro 11. Here we go. What's good, man? What's good? I'm good, man. It's good to see you. All right, so what do we got here? We have not very many tracks at all. I think there's 12, 16 total tracks, something like that. I mean, I could see they're numbered, through 16. So there are 16 tracks. So we have a vocal lead. We have some doubles left, right. We have a reverse reverb kind of thing. Bass, piano intro, piano melodies, two of them. E-piano, synth. I've labeled everything. I've colored everything. I've set up the session. I've done my routing. You know what I'm saying? And I'll kind of explain this as I go. And I've also kind of put a few plugins on some different mix buses and on the master bus. And I want to kind of explain all this as we go. But first things first, I want to talk about something really basic. When you get a mix from a client and you get stems, you can see here, I have a little tempo map. Because it's a lot of the times you have clients that will send you a track and they'll say it's at 149 BPM. And you're mixing and you need to time things. You need to time the reverbs, the delays, etc. You want to have everything on a grid, right? You want to know exactly where bar 1, beat 1, the downbeat of, bar 9 is, etc. And so what I do is I tempo map the whole track. So I do that off of the rough mix or the demo, and I always get a demo from the client no matter what. I always want to listen to the demo. The demo is everything. The demo is going to tell you exactly what the artist was thinking. They produced it, or maybe a producer produced it with them. They wrote the song, they spent all this time on it, and they want you to mix it. And you have to pay attention to the demo because that's where all the feel, that's where their intentions were. Okay. That's where the balance is as well. So something's louder than another thing. Something's panned a certain way. You want to keep those things intact, or you want to at least understand why they did those things. I've been mixing for over 20 years now. Okay. And I can say that with confidence because I've really fucked up a lot of things. And I've also mixed some amazing things, platinum records, right? I've mixed stuff that is Grammy nominated. I got to work on some really cool shit in my career, and it keeps going. Hopefully, it continues to keep going. And I love working on independent artist stuff. So this is an independent artist, Tommy G, he's really, really kind of like an indie hip hop artist, rapper. But this song he's actually kind of singing on, and it's the intro to his album. So I'm doing a 15, 16 song album for him, right? So that's what I'm setting up here. And the first thing you have to do in Logic to actually tempo map anything, you want to bring in that track, you double click on it, okay? And you're going to see track file and smart tempo at the bottom. When you open this at first, it's not just going to have it all mapped out. It's not going to, break it down into quarter notes or whatever this is, right? It's actually going to ask you to analyze the track. So once it analyzes the track, it'll give it all these quarter note cuts or whatever. And then we can tell it like how we want to do this, variable or constant, right? And I want it variable because I know the tempo is shifting and changing over time. So now I can see across this that it is tempo mapped, and awesome. So smart tempo's there. And then you go up to edit and you go to apply region tempo to project tempo. So you'll take the region tempo that it's mapped out and it'll pop it onto the global track here, the tempo, okay? And it's just going to map it out for you. And that's awesome, right? We have a retard endo at the end here. You could just see like 74.1, and then it goes down to 58.5, etc. Okay. So very important because you could see the timing differences in the variables going on, and they're pretty subtle, But with like a delay effect or something, you don't want that to sound too fast or too slow on a part if you do a delay throw or some spatial effect. All right, so that's how you kind of set up your session, and always do that. Always check the tempo. I noticed it right away that the tempo was kind of like changing, so I just mapped it in Logic Pro. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the demo, and this is an intro to an album again, so it is a very sparse kind of thing going on. So let's just play it.
I'm just out here lost in space again, talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you, sure has been slipping away from my view. I need to breathe, this ocean's so lonely, nowhere to go, take it slowly. I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I know.
That's it, right? So this is really funny because I always hear people acting like a session with a shit ton of tracks is really hard to mix, right? And a session with very few tracks is really easy to mix. And that is absolutely not the case. Because as you could tell right away when you play this, it's so sparse that it's kind of flat sounding, right? It's not, there's not dimension. The strings are so like on their own and they're coming out and they're like really loud and way to the left. And, you know, things are just like very, very apparent, like right away. And you don't want that in a mix. You want the suspension of disbelief. You want to build the movie, the story, and you want people to be involved in this kind of floaty thing, right? And you want movement, right? You want movement and you want vibe and space and things like kind of coming in and out and breathing. Because this is an intro to a 16-song project, and it's only, what, 2 minutes long? And it's slow and it's chill, and it probably won't stream well, right? But we want to set the tone of the album. So it has to have a lot of space, a lot of dynamics, a lot of like just feel to it, okay? So, and that's hard to do. You guys have to understand, like when it's more sparse, you don't have drums, you don't have, big bass, you don't have a ton of vocal stacks, you don't have a lot of things to hide all of the emptiness, right? It becomes a lot harder to mix. Just in my experience, that's always been the case. The ones that I think, oh, this is simple. There's 16 tracks and there's no drums. It's going to be simple. Hell no, dude. And especially considering this is very organic, we don't want to over compress. We don't want to over process. We don't want to overdo anything. So here's what I got for the stems, and I'm just going to break down kind of like what I got going on. I'm going to bypass all my plugins so far, okay? So stems would hopefully, what you would think is match the demo and the reference, but let's just play and like kind of skip through it.
I'm just out here lost in space again, talking to myself. Let's go. just cannot seem to shake the I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you.
All right, so you could tell right away, you're like, whoa, this is like super flat, super boring, super dead, right? Nothing really going on. What I've done so far, just so you could see, I've manually kind of moved some doubles around so that they're more aligned. One thing you don't want to do with a very organic sounding thing is start using vocal align and start using these automatic processes that add a bunch of artifacts. You don't want to do that. Okay, I know it's like so, like it's so tempting to come in here and go like, all right, we're just gonna auto align this, you know? And dude, this is what a cheap engineer would do. This is what the $150 engineer is gonna do. It's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna just auto align. I'm gonna vocal line. I'm gonna vocal line everything, and then it's gonna sound all robotic and fucked up, right? So what I do is I go in and I just adjust everything manually. Okay, just move that a little bit, move that a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is an organic feel. You have to know the intention of the song. Listen to the demo, listen to the reference, understand it, take it in, feel it, close your eyes, play it loud, move into the other room and just hear it from another room. Throw it into headphones, throw it into your ear pods, listen and vibe out with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the intention that the artist had. That's what mixing's about. It's not about using a shit ton of plugins, okay? It's about the feel that you get from the processes, the feel that the plugins involve you in, okay? When I'm using plugins on this, for example, here are my keys mix, okay? I'm just gonna turn all these on and we're gonna explain everything, okay? I'm gonna go into detail about the creative side of mixing. I'm not going to sit here and get super technical with you guys. I really want you to understand this is a creative endeavor. I'm an artist when I'm mixing, okay? We're Picasso. We're like painting with textures and using things for a certain reason, okay? Everything's very intentional. I'm not just throwing shit on. So what I have on the master bus so far is the Mixwave VT7. Why? Because it's very transparent and it's a tube compressor. So it's a very transparent tube compressor. We're not getting a bunch of tone from this, okay? We're just getting a hug, a gentle hug. And it's this warm hug that feels right for the track, okay? And it's so subtle. And I know all you guys on YouTube, a lot of the times when you see a short form piece of content that's cut out of context from a live stream or something else I say, and you go, I can't tell the fucking difference. This guy always just talks about shit that's not making a difference. It makes a difference because you do little bites, little bites, little bites, little bites, little bites 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and then you have a record, okay? So we're very subtle about every process. And we can do that when we're running off an M4 Max laptop, right? Like you have the power nowadays to be able to do this very subtly and use a lot of different tools. So here we go. Mixwave, boom. Let's just turn it on and we're getting, what, half a dB to a dB of gain reduction.
Gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view. I need to breathe. So I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now.
Meters aren't even moving. You know what I'm saying? I had it in bypass, but you know, duh. But look, like sometimes you're going to hit around like -1 or something. My gain is 0.7, just making up the gain. Now I have a Pro Q4 on in linear phase on high. I find that the high, perfect. If it's on your master bus, put it on linear phase and then thank me later, right? Goldfoss, doing nothing. It's just here, okay? Look, I'll turn these on and I'll play it. Nothing is going on here.
I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now.
Okay, those are there because I know that those are tools that I'm going to want on my master bus as I mix into them, okay? Gold clip, doing nothing. I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to take this to pristine, okay, in real time. And then on offline, I want it on extra pristine, okay? Because, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much with this kind of track. But yeah, we're going to stay away from pretty much distortion when we do this, when we go up to the oversampling. Nothing going on here. This is on right? It's on, but it's not doing anything. Okay, so I'm just going to have it there because I know I'm going to use it. And then the God particle is going to definitely be doing something. All right, so we have limiting at 5 dB. We have it at negative 0.1 here, and we have the input at 0. Okay, as we mix, we're going to get into this box a little bit more, and we're going to gain stage into this. But right now, what you could do, because it's already at 5 dB, you could take this down 5 dB to make sure that you're gain staging perfectly, and you're not adding any gain. So what you're going to be adding is perceived loudness through the harmonics on the God particle here. This is 90%, which is actually 45% because it goes to 200%, okay? So I'm just at 90%. Let's take it from 0 and start bringing it up.
Gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
All right, so very important that we understand our gain staging. I've made a video on this, long form video on my YouTube. You guys should definitely check that out about gain staging. I think that it's a super important thing to understand why, you know, you're gaining in and out of plugins, etc. Very, very important. If you need to, turn your monitors up. Yeah, like you don't want to get in this trap where you keep bringing things louder, louder, louder for no reason. Okay, so I have my monitors up pretty loud, and then I'll bring them down as I start mixing, right? Because I'm going to start adding gain and gain staging up. Okay, so that's where we're at right now, just with the master bus. Let's bypass everything in and out on the master bus so you can hear the difference. You'll probably hear maybe a dB of gain, and you'll hear some perceived loudness.
I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now.
Right, we get it in the vocals mainly for me, in that mid-range of the vocals, which sounds really good to me. So we also have on the keys mix, okay? This is going to have the Pultec. It's boosting pretty broad at 8K, and that's it, like literally. So that's all we're doing there. And then the VLC, this is the this is just going to give it a little bit of high boost here as well, and it looks like a low boost. So warming it up, cutting the low, right? And then you can switch between the frequencies. So this is going to be like lower and a little bit more low mids, right? I'm going low. So this is on the keys bus, and I like that one because these are both tube. So what we're doing here is we're just adding warmth throughout. It's the whole idea. This is the Unfair Child. Fucking awesome. Super sick, right? And then we have the Pro Q4 dipping just the middle where the vocal sits at that 1100, okay? So let's bypass these in and out so you can really hear what's going on in the keys, and I'll actually just solo the keys. So warm. It's just like giving it some warmth, giving it some dimension. You know, that's what harmonics do. It gives you dimension front to back. The harmonics bring out the brightness, which put things in front. And then it also brings out all the warmth in the low end, which brings things to the back. So you get this front to back dimension that happens. You also get it in width as well. Okay, so overall is what I'm doing. I'm kind of like overall painting, and I'm going, okay, what does this need? It needs a little bit more of a hug, a little more warmth. And then what does this need? Oh, this needs a little bit more brightness, you know, etc. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just painting overall. With the orchestra, he labeled it orchestra. Really, this is just strings. You can see it's panned left, and it's a stereo file on his actual stem. And what I did is I take this and I go to stereo pan, because this is a true stereo pan in Logic Pro. If you turn that off, you're going to go to balance, and you're basically just turning down left or right. So if I pan to the right, you're turning down the left side. Okay, that's all you're doing. When you go to true stereo pan, you can actually bring in the left or the right. See how I can do that? And I can pan it true stereo. So why I did this is because, like, look, if I take this all off, okay, I'm just gonna zero this out. And yeah, here you go. And the strings just feel like way too left heavy to me. Feels like out here. As I add mastering bus plugins and all that stuff that's going to give you more width and more depth and all that, it's gonna make these strings sound like over here. And that's going to sound so unnatural. And remember, the name of the game for this record is natural, organic, emotional, right there at the bedside with this person, right? So let's kind of play this and I'll show you why I panned it.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now.
See how it gets like two stereo wide to the left and you're like, that's so weird, like this string ensemble. And it's like a chamber string. So it's like a group of players, like 6 players, 12 players, whatever. And it sounds so unnatural being really panned hard left like that. So we're going to give this more dimension as well as we mix. And sometimes when I'm mixing, I'll just do like the creative thing, right? Like I'm like, these strings need some love. So let's give it some love. So we got bus 14 and we're sending to bus 14 and I'm going to throw altiverb on here and we're going to keep it very natural. Altiverb 8. And we're going to throw this into like a nice studio room. Okay. We're going to do something like this. We're going to go in and I love altiverb. This is like one of my favorite plugins. Very overpriced in my opinion, but to do all this work and go out and sample all these places, it's, I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to look for is just kind of a natural looking kind of studio. I'm just looking at it and I'm going, okay, wood, lots of wood everywhere. That looks good to me. And you can see live room 2. And if we just click on this and then get out of that, we can see all of our settings here. So we want this at 100% wet because we're sending it. And then you can see also, there's a lot of different stuff. There's decay, the reverb time at 100%. We have brightness, we have size, so we can make the size bigger. We can turn an EQ on and off. We can do pre-delay, which a lot of times I like to do some pre-delay. And you can flip through the different pictures. Really fun, right? And you can see the dimensions and all that stuff, right? Pretty cool. And it shows you like how it rings out. So the low end rings out really heavy on this one. So I might not like it. Maybe I want something brighter, right? But let's listen to it because I don't give a shit about any of this stuff besides how it sounds. One thing I do want to make sure of is that my routing's right. So bus 5, we're going to a string mix. I want to make sure that this return, I'm sorry, this is the return, the reverb return. We want to make sure that this is going to the all instruments, okay? Because all instruments, if we mute it, we want to hear no instruments, no reverb of instruments, nothing, okay? So we can mute it and we could just hear vocals, bass, piano, or vocals and bass pretty much in this one, or drums as well if you had drums. All right, so now we're going to start sending it to this altiverb.
I can feel you, sure has been slipped.
See what that does? It's so beautiful. And it's something where it's so subtle, right? And we could flip through different rooms, different studios as well. The tail of it is it's fast, right? It's like maybe 800 milliseconds. I don't know. 0.4. So we got 400 milliseconds. I was off by half, right? It's very, very short. It's a very short reverb. So what we can do is we could do a pre-delay, or we can make the decay longer, or we could just switch the room that has a little bit of a longer decay. But what I like about this is that it's making the strings more stereo, right? Without the strings being super direct in the right. Instead, we're just getting the dimension and the depth in the right of the room, of the strings in the room, not of the strings being directly mic'd in the left and right, being stereo. Make sense? All right, cool. Now let's try some other rooms just to kind of give this a little different idea here.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know.
So you hear how the rooms are responding? It's like pretty interesting how we can EQ the strings with the room. So this Dirk Studio, Germany, this has it has like this whistle around that 400, 500, maybe even the mid-range, getting into like the 700, 800 area. And you can really hear that, and you can hear that it becomes more woolly and woody, right? Which to me translates to warmth, right? That's what people say, like, oh, that sounds warm. When we say warm, that's the frequency we're talking about. So you guys can really visualize this. I'll throw a Pro Q4 on, and you'll see it starting to come up in here.
I'm getting
right? So that 500 area. Okay. So this is a cool thing that you can do. You can now make sure that that 500 area does not come into the middle. Okay. So on our reverb return, which is just what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go to stereo and I'm going to go to mid, and I'm just going to duck this down a little bit. And you could even do this dynamically. So you could go, I want to make this dynamic, and I want this just to duck down when it hits that note, because you hear that note when it goes right here. And the cool thing about that is now that 500 won't come up in the middle, and we'll still get that kind of woolly kind of thing going on the sides, okay? So we still get the warmth, but we're not going to congest the vocal. Because if we go to the vocal, we understand, I mean, you know, I can hear it. I don't know about you guys, but it's like you can hear that the vocal has a lot of body to it because of the range he's singing in, right? So going to the vocal mix bus here. This is the vocal mix bus, by the way. On here, I can just add a Pro Q4 just so you can see the EQ.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day.
Right, and you saw it especially on that day, like it's all about the notes. And I think that's the musicality of mixing. If you don't understand what an EQ is, it's all frequencies, which are all notes. That's very, very basic, right? So you could turn on this keyboard here and you could see the keyboards and you could see the notes specifically that it's hitting and exactly what those frequencies are of those notes. It's very important that you stay musical with your mixing. I think that that's maybe the most overlooked thing about bad mixing engineers or anyone mixing themselves. They just get too technical. They get too focused in on the frequency. The frequency is a note, man. You're taking out a note. If you're going to start EQing the fundamental of a fucking sound, then you have a bad arrangement. You need to go back. You need to go, maybe something else needs to be sitting in that area on the left and right, but not in the middle, right? And I'm glad he has the strings on the sides and not right up the middle, because that would be a really stupid arrangement. Right? So you can literally see the vocal here hitting that 500.
I'm okay when I'm with
Right, so that's a lot of 500 in that vocal. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want that with that warm kind of vocal. I'm okay, da, da, da. Why would we take that out of the vocal? That is like the fundamental of the vocal, right? That's the note. So I just wanted to point that out because it happens a lot in mixing where people start taking the fucking fundamental out of a sound because they're EQing and they're getting too in their head and they're in a bad room and they're listening on their HS8s in an untuned room and they have no idea what they're really hearing, and they hear a frequency firing off in the room, so they start EQing the shit out of it, and they're actually taking the fundamental frequency, the note, out of the vocal, out of the guitar, out of the piano. And then it's like, what are you left with? You're left with nothing. This is where all the magic is, right here, is in the middle, right? If anything, make this like sound perfect. Don't worry about the low end. Don't worry about the high end. Just fucking focus on the mid range. You know, if you get that right, everything else becomes way easier. Okay. So that's what I just wanted to do that on the strings because right away that just makes them sound better. Right. So just bypassing that in and out on the strings.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you.
All right, now we get this like kind of short room sound from the strings in here. Now, if we want to go a little bit more otherworldly with this track to make it a little bit more dreamy, which was one of his notes. He sent me really good notes on the mix, actually. He was like, yeah, you know, I should do this, or, you know, what do you think about this, etc. And I'm going for this dreamy kind of vibe, right? So if we're going for dreamy, we want to kind of mess around with this a little bit. We can mess around with different stuff. We can send this to another bus here. And I usually send all my stuff past the master augs. I do my sends. So I don't know, just something I do in Logic. So for example, when I go to my buses here, bus 1, 2, 3, 4 are all for my mix buses and all buses. And then I'll have like master augs, and then past the master augs is where I'll do all my, you know, reverbs, delays, effect sends, etc. It just helps me kind of organize them a little bit better. Okay, so here, let's just go like big verb, right? And this could just be like a string verb that's going to be a little bit bigger and also otherworldly. So we're going to start to think about more programmed stuff and less of like a natural organic room. Okay. And blending those two worlds can get really dicey for a lot of people. So you got to be really, really careful with this. But you should always experiment. So this is going to bus 4. So we're going to go bus 4 here. This is going to go to all instruments. And then we can also do panning and stuff on this big reverb. If you're going to pan big reverbs, go stereo pan, you know, just so it's true stereo. So you can bring in the stereo or you can bring it out, right? So you make it wider or more narrow, and then you can also pan it. Okay, so that's something that I just like to do with these kind of ideas, okay? I'm going to option click the send, so I'm sending 100% just so I can hear it right away. And I'm going to go to Sound Toys, and I'm going to do the crystallizer. And the crystallizer, just because we want to kind of get a really interesting shimmery kind of thing going. So in here, you have crystals and you have all this stuff, but you also have echoes and harmonized stuff and pitched up and down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different stuff to mess with, and I really like this stuff. Echoes, space, let's try this. And you can do so much stuff with this. I won't get into this plugin too much because it may not even work for what I'm trying to do, but let's try it.
I'm okay when I'm
Right, that's pretty cool. The delay, I think, is too long. Let's sync it. And remember, that's why we have our tempo map, because it's going to change throughout the song. So a half note is going to give us more of a dreamy vibe, right? Because it's a half note. It's longer. It's more dreamy. The shorter we go, the less dreamy it's going to become. It's going to become more immediate. And that's just how I think about delays. Like if I go quarter note, it's not as dreamy. It's da, 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 right? And then eighth note is going to da, 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 right? And then 16th, you get into more of like a splash or a slap echo. And 30 seconds, same, right? So a half note is probably a good spot to start. And then we can turn the recycle down, which would just be like how much it's coming back, feeding back.
from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slick.
Pretty cool, right? So now this threshold is really important on this plugin because you can have it getting everything, right? Like it could be getting everything, or you can just be getting certain parts. Like when it gets loud enough, right? As we crescendo up, we can start to send that reverb out. So for example, if we go to this orchestra, the string patch, you can see that it has this kind of dynamic to it. and it's riding. So here it's getting really loud and more dynamic, and it's coming up. So here's what we can do is we can only on those big parts, we can start, right? Start to throw to it. And we're going to adjust the threshold, and I'll show you how that works. Right, so that'll just give it a little more dynamic vibes with this actual verb and the delay and everything. So if you go all the way down, you're basically just like sending 100% to it, just like a compressor would work, right? You have a threshold here. Across the threshold, you get more of it. You get more body. You get more of the low end, the mids, the highs, everything, right? It's all just going to this all the time. If I take the threshold up, it's only going to be going to this and getting that more dynamically as things come up. You get more body and more blooming of the sound, which is really cool. And of course, you could tweak everything here. Like this gets really ridiculous. So for example, we can take the high cut, low cut, mess around with that. We can mess around with delay offsets, you know, the offset of pitch and everything else here, attack and release on the ducking mode. Yeah, pretty powerful plugin. And it's like one of those things where you could just put a sine wave through this and an analog synth or something, and then have like this really cool, lush, interesting sound. And there's tons of stuff to mess around with in this. So this is just an echo space, and I just think it sounds a little bit more dreamy, right? And we don't have to send much of this. We can actually just take this and start to bring it into the mix and decide, hey, that's enough.
I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. When I'm with you every day, I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view. I'll be left.
And that might be a fun thing to do, right? Just automate that in and out. But for me, I think it's this is like too dark, and it's kind of clashing with the other one, right? So what we can do on this, and we might want to tweak, is just go on here and go minimum on high cut, and then on low cut, we'll go like a little up. And I'll show you what that sounds like as we play. This is just the return of the reverb here. See what I'm saying? So this is really dope because now we're EQing with this plugin, but we're EQing the depth of it. We're not EQing directly on the directly mic signal, etc. And then we're also panning it. So here we can actually take this altiverb and we can go to stereo pan, and we can just give it a little bit of this to the left, right? And then this one to the right a little bit. And now we have this really kind of interesting texture and tone going on. And what I'll do here, just so you can really hear it, I'll just solo these two returns.
I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away.
Okay, so I don't like it because I don't like the delay on it, on the crystallizer. Okay, so what we're gonna do instead of the crystallizer, and see, this is why we experiment, because you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. The problem is that it's feeding back and then it's getting dissonance with the feedback on the delay. So delay is just not the right idea here. So what I'm gonna do is use the Baby Audio Crystalline. Either crystalline sometimes sounds a little too digital. So let's try spaced out. This might be a better one. Yeah, spaced out is super fun. All right, so let's try something here without the delay. So this is the delay here, and what we'll do is we'll go all reverb over here. Okay, so this is a clean start. Let's just try this.
I'll be left adrift.
Like, how cool is that shit? That's super dope. To me, that's like, oh, now we're kind of like, now we're floating a little bit. But not everything. Not everything. The vocal can still stay at the bedside, but the strings can float a little bit. And we might do this with some other stuff, like where we get it, you know, texturized, where it's like, oh, this thing's like here, right? And then this other thing's like back there. You know, throw that out into outer space and let it drift. And you guys, hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, by the way, make sure you're subbed to the channel. Give me a thumbs up, right? There's 9 likes on this. 31 people watching this and 9 likes. You guys, you don't like this? I mean, I don't have to do a live stream. You know what I'm saying? I could get off here and just mix this record myself. I don't have to talk about this with you guys. You know, show some love. Show some love. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to say what's up to some people here. What's going on? What's going on? And I also want to answer some questions. So, awesome, dude. So that isotope video, I'm glad you got something out of that. Because like a lot of the times when I work with plugin brands, I only work with plugin brands that I actually use, by the way. Like I just don't take on any sort of plugin brands that I don't actually use on the daily. Okay. So just let's make that clear, because I don't like people acting like I just do this shit for money. Like, oh, I'm gonna talk about plugins and how awesome they are just for some money. Like, no, fucking, I use these plugins, right? Isotope, I use all their plugins. Shit ton of plugins that I use from Isotope. So the Music Production Suite 8, I did a video for their channel where I was mixing and mastering it's really hard to do, by the way, within like an hour. Like fucking impossible, right? I don't just mix and master a record from scratch in an hour. Like way too hard, you know? But I did my best on that one to kind of give some game. But yeah, Pro Q4 worth getting while having the Music Suite. Look, it's all about workflow, right? You can get used to anything. Like you don't have to have Pro Q4. You don't have to have any third-party plugins, right? Like don't buy any of them. I don't give a fuck. Like I want to make sure that's really clear. Like I'm not here to sell you plugins. I'm just showing you stuff that I use that make my job easier. It makes my job more enjoyable as well. I have a lot more fun using this spaced out reverb than I do like a Logic stock reverb. I just do. I just know how to get it there a lot quicker. So when you're asking that question, my answer is Pro Q4, for me, I can get there quicker, right? It's just a workflow thing. It's like I'm mixing, right now I'm mixing a 16 song album. I'm mixing a 6-7 song EP from Maudlin Strangers. You know, I got some singles. I'm producing records. I'm making my own songs. Like I'm constantly every single day needing these tools to be fast, efficient. I need them to be recallable. I need them to get the sound that I have in my head really quick. And you can get there with stock plugins. But dude, this is what I do for a living. If I mixed and master with only stock plugins, it would take me to get the sound out of my head to Logic Pro. It would take me 3 times as long, you know? And I just don't have that time. You know, I'm 42 years old, bro. Like I'm trying to put more records out. I'm trying to help more people. Like you just can't do that with like stock plugins. You just move so slow. Now, if you're a hobbyist and that's what you do and you're just like working on your own music, dude, just have stock plugins, get a couple third-party plugins that you want to fuck around with that get you inspired. You know what I'm saying? Call it a day. That's all you need. But if you're trying to be a professional, you're trying to work in the industry, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to add value as a music producer, whatever, like you want to work fast and you want to be efficient and you want to get those sounds that are competitive and get them out of your head directly and fast, like, yeah, you're going to need some third-party plugins. So Pro Q4 is really expensive for an EQ, but for me, I'm a professional, dude. Like, these are professional tools. Look at, this is like such a small little dip, such a small thing, but this will happen across the mix 15 times and it'll make the difference with the mix for me, you know? So I like to have stuff that I can work really quick with. I love Pro Q4 because I like to visualize it. I like seeing the keyboard layout. I like how fast it is. I like being able to go boom and go to stereo placement. I like to be able to make it spectral, make it dynamic. I like the fact that it has zero latency, natural or linear phase. I like the fact that it's just fast for me. I've just learned it. And I think a lot of people in the industry have. And also it doesn't have very many artifacts. Like, that's the key thing for me. Like, anytime I turn on an EQ and I try to do, like, I do that with a different EQ and it's just like, oh, I can hear the artifacts. I can hear the EQ. I don't want to hear the EQ. I just want to not hear this part of that signal coming into the middle. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Say hi to some other people, answer some questions, whatever you guys got. Yo, Columbia in the house. What's up? Sniffing on that powder, that white girl. Just kidding. I don't know why we still think like Columbia is like, oh yeah, Columbia, cocaine. Hey. Appreciate that. What's up, Kirox? How you doing, man? Get the likes up. That's what I'm saying. You guys hit that like, show some love, share the show. You know, help other people out. You can't gatekeep this shit. It's going to be on my channel anyway. It's just going to be sitting here for anybody. What's up, man? Gus, how you doing, man? Primal Panic in the house. My guy. Yeah. All right, cool. The GOAT. I don't know about that, man. I try hard. Same as good system PC, whatever. I see some people mixing on their 15-year-old PC using oversampling crazy 2 times. Yeah. Yes, it's hard, man. It's hard. You're trying to do this like for a living. It's way different than doing this for fun and as a hobby. Like, let's be real. Like this, I got to pay my bills, y'all. Like, I got to pay my bills. Like, I'm trying to help people, and I'm also trying to live a decent lifestyle in Hollywood, California. It's fucking expensive, man. Plugins are expensive. I get it, dude. That's why you guys should be getting them on like Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, bro. Like every year, that's how I cop my plugins, 100%. And, you know, I work with brands that I like their shit and, you know, do exchange of value. It's like, yeah, I'll talk about your shit on my stuff because I like your shit and I use it. You give me some free plugins. I'm fucking down for that. You know, these are all helpful things. So anyway, let's get back to this idea here. I want to make sure I'm coloring everything right too. So any of my returns, I color this magenta. I don't know if it's magenta. Here, I'm going to move my screen so you can see that. So here, these are my returns. All my effects returns need to be this teal. Sorry, I think it's teal, right? And that way I know like that's an effects return right away. And then this I'm going to call altiverb or strings verb, you know, strings verb. Okay. And now we have the altiverb, right? We have this room, which is beautiful. It's nice and woolly and woody. And then we're ducking out so we don't get into the middle of that vocal area. And then we have the spaced out going, panning a little bit to the right, and that's going to be brighter and more ethereal and kind of cosmic. I guess that's the best way to put it. And let's pop these in the mix.
Dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from.
All right, so let's before and after this, because I always before and after everything. Like, you could trick yourself so much by not A-Bing shit. Like, you have to A-B stuff.
I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you.
I like it. Makes me feel like I'm a little bit like lightly stoned. You know what I'm saying? And I love that feeling, like just lightly stoned. I don't like being really high, but you know what I mean? How long do you think it took for your mixing and mastering career to really take off to where you could make a living at it? Fuck, that's a good question. I've never been the person that's like, I am only a mixing engineer. You know what I mean? So I make a portion of my living off mixing and mastering. I make a portion of my living off producing. I make a portion of my living off of sync licensing. You know, it's all kind of, it goes across the spectrum when you're in music. And even if you're a top mixing engineer, you're going to be doing other stuff, right? You're going to be doing like events, mix with the masters. You get paid for that. You'll do brand deals. You'll do sponsorships, things like that, right? You might even produce, right? You might be a producer as well as a mixing engineer. So for me, I'd say it's been kind of like, it's been a big portion of my living for the last, God, I want to say like 7 years or so. So it probably took me a good decade before I was really like, you know, oh, I'm mixing and mastering for clients on the regular, you know, and they're coming back to me and they're paying, and my prices are up to the point where I'm not, you know, just mixing for everybody. I'm not like, yeah, dude, I'll do it for $250. Like, nah, fuck off, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take that on. Most of the time those songs are trash anyway. And I'm like, I don't want to mix this, you know? And then that takes the joy away from you. So it took me a long time, man. Like a really long time. Yeah. Lightly stoned is the way to do it, man. Gotta have just a little bit high, you know? And, okay. So this synth, right? So as I'm mixing, I'm like hearing new things, right? That I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. So this synth comes in here.
Okay.
And I feel like this synth is too up front, right? It's like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. So what I want to do here is the true verb trick that that I learned from Jason Joshua. I think I was watching a mix with the masters or some shit. And basically all he's doing here is early reflections. You can do this on any plugin, by the way. It doesn't have to be true verb. I just got used to it. And what you would want to do is like, I'll do the room side is at full, and then the distance, like we'll bring that up. And then basically just use the early reflections. But I tend to like to just bring up the early reflections and then bring up a little bit of the tail, right? A lot of the times Jason just like uses just the early reflections, but I like a little bit of the tail because I like the reverb tail. So let's hear this.
I'm okay when I'm
Pretty magical, right? Like we are just kind of like setting that back into the track, which I really love. And I think another way to like make sure that this doesn't get lost, because it does sound like, oh, that's too low now. That's fine. We'll turn the volume up just a touch, but also I'll come to the strings bus. So I have a strings mix bus, and I'll just throw on the Waves Factory track spacer, right? Super simple. And then we'll use this as a side chain here. So we'll go synth 2 is going to be in the side chain. So we'll go to the audio here and we'll go to synth 2. 2_1. So annoying. But anyway, now that's going to be the side chain, and we go here and we can hear just the side chain by turning that on. But what I'm going to do is adjust the attack here and the release. All right. So I just want that initial attack, and we'll release it like pretty quickly. But this way it'll just kind of duck that when it hits in the strings. So the strings are going to duck when that synth comes in so that we still keep the dimension, but that's going to get more room. Just watch and listen.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Very little bit of that goes a long way, right? And I love these plugins. The Waves Factory shit is amazing. I talked to the guy that made these, you know, because he's like, hey, do you want to do a plugin review of my new one? And it was the Reesser. And at first I was like, what the fuck is that, right? But it's so good. And Spectre, of course, like all his plugins are really good. And I don't know. I haven't activated this one. Obviously, I haven't used it in a while, but I had a problem with my MacBook Pro where the motherboard just like fucking was done in for randomly. So yeah, that was fun. But Reesser, awesome plugin, so much fun and so many cool features on this. But Waves Factory is one dude in Spain making these plugins, and he spends like years on them. So I just think that's really cool. I always love supporting small businesses, and like, I think there's an impression online from the general public in the audio community. It's not even the audio community, let's be real. It's like the wannabe kids that are like cracking plugins all day. They have this general consensus that like all of these plugin companies are these huge conglomerates and they're like these big corporations, and you know what I mean? That's just not fucking true. They're all very small niche, small businesses of like a few people or one person or two people or three people. And they're just trying to make cool tools for music because they make music as well. And that's really how it works. Like, I just always think it's funny when, you know, the music industry, I wouldn't even say the music industry. I'm just going to say the audio community eats itself. It eats its young. You know, it like literally feasts on itself. People are such fucking haters in the pro audio community. You know, plugins, DAWs, production, they all want to hate on each other. They all want to tear each other down. And I just think that that's the wrong move. I just hate that. I think it's so ridiculous because they don't know how it really works. You know, these plugin companies aren't like, oh, we're rolling in profits, man. We're a huge corporation. Like most of them are like ma and pa fucking music producers, engineers that are like making plugins that they wish existed. And that's what they're doing. And they love doing it. And they're just trying to make enough money to keep making plugins. Like that's literally how it works, y'all. That's why I think it's funny when people are like, oh, you're selling plugins? And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to fucking help these guys out so they can make more plugins for us. Like I want to use the tools. I want them to keep developing plugins. Absolutely. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously. So early reflections, why they make a certain sound drop back in the mix more. That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked it. So early reflections are the reflections off the wall, right? They are the early reflections, like literally what they say. Okay. So it's the first reflection of the reverb. It's like when you clap in a room and you hear the echo back. It's like that first reflection, that early reflection of a wall. So what that's going to do, like just think about yourself moving around like a big gymnasium or something, right? It's way harder for me to explain things than it is just to show you. So like on the TrueVerb, perfect example. Let's solo this out and let's only have the early reflections playing and listen to what's happening here. You can hear what ends up happening is it feels like it's back because we're only hearing the early reflections. We're not hearing the direct. We're not hearing the reverb tail. The reverb tail is going to be like you hit something and then it goes, right? The RT60 time of a reverb. That's what this is. So let's just hear the reverb tail, just so you can understand the difference. See how this is hitting way later as well? So the reverb by itself, no direct, no early reflections, is giving us just the tail, which sounds even deeper, right? It sounds even further away. But with early reflections, I just want to take something that's up front and just tuck it back a little bit. With a reverb tail, you're going to go into the void, right? Like I don't want that. So the early reflection is this right here, right? It's like literally the early reflection of the reverb. So you have like one hitting here, one hitting here. It's showing you exactly how it's working. This is in milliseconds, I believe, right? So you have 20, so this is like at 19 or something. Then you have one at like 25, and then you have one at like 38, you know, and then they die down as they go. That's what the early reflection is. And you could turn them up or you could turn them down. And the more you turn them up, it's going to sound kind of splashy, like you're in a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like you're hearing the early reflections off the wall. So it's like that reflection that hits the wall and then hits your ear. It's a delayed reflection. That's the best way to put it. Right, so I'm in a bigger room because I took the space, the room size, took it all the way up. The distance is farther away, right? So the early reflection distance is here it's at 23.96. So if I did this, I could actually take it past the room size. So check this out. It'll get bigger. Okay, so that's the cool part about it is when I hit stop, you don't hear a reverb tail. You don't hear the RT60 time. RT60 time means reverb time to go past negative 60 dB. Negative 60 dB is where we lose we hear silence, okay? So like any noise in your room, for example, that's above negative 60 is going to raise the noise floor in your room, which means you won't hear certain things that you're mixing or producing. Okay, so that's why my room is tuned up. That's why there's no noises in the room, right? I mean, I can hear some computer noise and shit like that, right? But you'll hear more and more noise the more you tune up a room, the more you soundproof something. You'll hear the quieter noises. Anything above negative 60 dB. So if you tune a studio room, you make a soundproof, you want it to be below negative 60 dB. So no noise above that. So if you're like negative 58 or negative 50 dB, something's in there, you have 10 dB of noise floor that you're missing, dynamic range, right? So you're not hearing the reverbs, you're not hearing the noise, the sibilance, the in the mouth, the breathing, the stuff that you really need to hear as an audio engineer. And that's why we have headphones. Right? So if you are in a room that's not tuned, it's not soundproof, you have a high noise floor, you have traffic noise, you have computer noise, you have things above negative 60 dB, you want to work out of headphones a lot of the times. Highly recommend that. All right, so I don't know if that was like way too much explanation on that. I'm sorry. And honestly, like I'm not like super technical when it comes to this shit. I just like, oh, I know that sounds better, and it tucks it back. So I could take the direct, turn it on, and just bring it up a little bit, and then the reverb tail and turn it on and bring it up just a little bit. And that's kind of the sound that I have in my head, tucking it back in the mix.
I'm okay when I'm dead. I'm okay.
And what I love about that is it's not taking over anything, right? You could still hear the strings, but you can hear that sound kind of come in and it goes away, right? And that's kind of what I want, but I don't want it super direct. So true verb in and out, and I'll get rid of the re-esser. I don't need the re-esser on this, but let's just bypass the in and out.
I'm okay.
So the sense of space is maybe a little off with this, right? Like a Bob Ross painting. This is the best way I've ever explained anything, and I'm always proud of myself for this one. Bob Ross has dimension in his painting, and when you watch him painting, and some of you guys don't even know who Bob Ross is, I get it. But when you watch him painting, he's like painting something in the back. He's like, these are the clouds, and you're like, fucking looks stupid, dude. But then when he puts something, he finally comes to the forefront, right? The painting of like what you're seeing right here in front of you, the tree, the dark brush tree, right? You're like, oh shit, now there's dimension. Now the tree's right here, but the clouds are way back and up. You know what I'm saying? So it gives dimension. But without that reference point, if you don't have something in the foreground, you can't have anything in the background. So something like a lot of amateur mixes sound like to me is too much reverb on everything. So too much reverb on everything makes everything washed out and there's no dimension. But if you have the vocal really dry and in your face, for example, and you have like for this synth, to me, it starts to get too washed out in the background with everything else. So I would go, boop, bring this direct up, early reflections down a little bit, and I'd try to get it somewhere in the middle.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Right? So now we're building dimension, right? The vocal, the synth, a little bit further back, strings, even further back and wide, right? So I'm painting. It's like, and then that thing down there, and the bass can like be right here under the vocal. You know what I'm saying? Like we're trying to paint. That's just kind of how I think about things, I guess. Okay, what else? What else you guys got? What MacBook are you using, and what are your recommended Logic audio settings for buffer and size? So my MacBook is the M4 Max, and it's got 128 gigs of RAM and, 4 terabyte hard drive and all that. It's like the newest one, right? And the Logic settings, like when I'm mixing, I'm just at 1,000, right? 1,000 samples. This is at 44.1, all the stems were, so I keep them native to whatever they were already. TrueVerb, I'm also going to take this and just kind of bring the distance up a little bit. So this is the back wall here, and this is the distance of the early reflection. So sometimes if you bring it too far, it just doesn't sound very good to me. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm ducking the strings. And now let's get into anything else, like the bass, right? What is the bass doing? Do we want more oomph? Do we want more anchor? Does it feel great? I don't know. Let's hear and like pay attention.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed up.
All right, so I like the bass, but I think it's feeling like it's getting kind of washed out, right? So let's go to the bass here. This is the Pro Q4 on here. I don't need this. I don't actually want to use this at all. What I'm going to use on this is the Spiff plugin. Okay, this is from Oak Sound, O-E-K. I don't know if it's Oak or it's O-E-K. I have no idea. But so what we're going to do is we're going to do a boost here. And I'm going to go into this area. I turn that off. And I'm going to go into like the woody area of the bass. Okay, so like 4 to 800.
Dead. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
All right, so what I want to do is just like hold that up, right? So every time the bass is playing, I'm holding that up. Another thing I want to do on this bass is just make it sound a little bit more real, because I could tell it's a MIDI bass. And the way I do that a lot of the times is I start to use different plugins that add harmonic distortion, right? That's the key to making something feel a little bit more real. The Rev A compressor, the 1176, has a lot of tone to it. It's a FET compressor, field effect transistor, right? So it's feeding back on itself. So it's going to give you some grit and some grime. Okay, and it's just known for that.
Dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where.
All right, so I'm going to start making up the gain. I'm not going to touch the fader. I'm going to make up the gain on the plugins, okay? We're going to talk about gain staging a little bit more here, right? Also, the stereo out, this should actually be going to the master bus, and that's why you're hearing that kind of weird delay going on, because it's not going to the master augs, right? So the bass doesn't sound in time. Hopefully someone noticed that. You guys paying attention? All right, so now I'm going to make up the gain. So now this is going to the master bus. I should probably take this out like the all instrument bus, but I almost want to make a new mix bus for this, or a all bass bus or something. It's kind of hard to want to do that when there's only like one bass in here, you know what I'm saying? So just, this is all organizational, by the way. So I'm going to go all instruments, because I'm not going to add any sort of processing on the all instruments. And then that's going to bus 12, which is the master augs, which is where everything should end up. Now let's start to make up our gain on these plugins. So remember, we're going to go into our first gain stage is going to be not on any of the plugins. It's going to be right here on the region. And up here, you can turn the gain up or down on the region, right? That is our first gain stage. So here, I'm just going to take this down to 0. I'm going to leave it where it was on the stereo. 1176 is our next gain stage on the input. This is going to be a fixed threshold, okay? So if I push into it, it's going to compress harder. Because it's a FET compressor, it has a feedback circuitry on it. On the output, this is just basically your makeup gain. Like, you're going to turn it back down. Okay, you're not going to turn this up typically, because as you bring this up, you're going to get more gain. All right, that's because of the feedback circuitry. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to aim for whatever sounds good, really. But I'm going to try to go for, 5 to 8 dB of compression.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you.
I mean, it sounds so much better, right? Like, it's just tighter and it's like glued in. And it has a little bit of harmonics to it, which I like. And then the spiff, right? So this is your next gain stage. It's going into the spiff. So into the spiff, we have the depth, which is going to give us more, which is basically volume of wherever we're hitting. And then we have some other features like the gain trim and everything. So this is the output, right? So gain of the wet signal can be used, unity gain for the correct A-B comparison, match wet and dry levels, right? So that's that. And then I'm going to go 100% mix on this. And I'm just going to start to get the trim right.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you.
I mean, that's pretty. To me, that sounds really great. What spiff do? What spiff do? What it about? What that butt about? So spiff is basically I would say it's like a multi-band exciter, So we're basically holding things up. It's really kind of hard to explain this plugin now that I think about it. You have an attack time. I guess it's like an upward compressor. Upward compressor / exciter, right? So I'm taking this band and I'm holding it up, right? Because it's on boost. If I cut, it does a lot like what, see, it even goes blue. It does a lot like soothe.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed.
So the delta of that, what I'm doing is I'm just holding up that area. Instead of EQing it, it's like holding it up, right? So I like that. I actually learned that trick from Phineas's engineer. Really, really dope. Would MV2 work? Kind of. Not the same though, because MV2 isn't going to be specific to frequencies, right? So you'd have to do some workarounds to make that work. It's a good question though. MV2 does have that kind of upward compression vibe going on, but it's not the same. Not like that. There is that free Waves plugin that came out that's pretty sick. It has that kind of upward compression vibe. I guess it wouldn't be upward compression. That's doing something different. That's doing a lot of different weird shit, but I like that one. It's called the Waves. I forget the name of it. It just came out for Black Friday. Magma Stress Box. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. So if I wanted this bass to be tighter and not like boo, 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 you know, and I wanted to kind of mess around with the transients of it, I can take this down and expand it. Like, check this out. That's pretty cool. So it's basically when it crosses the threshold, it's upwards compressing past the threshold, but everything else it's kind of like lobbing off. So it kind of acts like a transient designer. That was free for Black Friday, so that's pretty sick. But then if you compress, you're like upward and downward compression. It's almost like what a limiter would do. I like it. It's thickening it out. Sounds really cool. What do you got here? What software are you using? Sorry, just came through. So the DAW that I'm in right now is Logic Pro. Yeah. Yes, Logic Pro. It could also work like as some type of transient designer. Yeah, exactly. Which is, yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that. I like the expansion on it. You know what is another really dope plugin for that? Like maybe my favorite for that idea. And I use this on drums. Like I would use this on like a drum kit or like a kick drum that needs to be shortened or a snare drum that needs to be shortened or lengthened. And that's that Eventide. The Eventide, God damn it. What is it called? I just absolutely love this plugin. It's like so fun. And it's like way beyond just compression. Yeah, Omnipressor. This thing's fucking sick. So what this has is kind of the same idea. So here we have expansion, right? And then we have compression. And if you expand, you start to get this like really punchy, right? Like shortened kind of idea. I'm going to bypass the Magma stress box or whatever and check this out. So you can imagine that's really cool on drums. But then you have the compression side, and this just compresses.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can't feel you, sure has been slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you.
I mean, that's tight, right? Like it's like super tight. So it just depends on the bass you're looking for. Do you want it to be like this loosey-goosey, fat kind of, you know, wobbly kind of thing? Or do you want it to be like this really tight, precise, you know, boom, 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 you know? It's really up to you. That's what these tools are for. All of these tools are going to give you different shaping, you know, variables. And that's why I like using these different tools like compressors. And, you know, I'm blending this. This is at 49%. But it sounds cool. Like it sounds really, really cool. And there's a lot of other things on here as well. But this is at 1.7 to 1. I might go like 1.5 to 1. It's pretty intense. The function is on the compression. And then the output, I'm making up 4 dB, which it looks like it's compressing more than that anyway.
Dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can't feel you, sure has been slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day.
Ooh, I like how these are both working together. Like it's really fat. It feels like this like warm kind of thing. And it gives me an idea. It makes me want to widen the bass out. And I know that sounds fucking crazy, dude. That's crazy. Don't do it, man. But I just want the bass to be like, you know, thicker and warmer and like take up more space in the middle, if that makes sense. And I'm going to try isotope for this. You see how much you have to put into one sound when you have such a sparse mix. Like it's so much more than you think it's going to be. You're like, oh, this is fine, you know, but it's different, man. Like this is very different. Is it low end focus that I could use for this? Maybe. I think I'm going to actually just be using something to like widen it out. But let's see here. This might be the ticket. Okay, punchy, smooth. Yeah, this is going to be something totally different. This is not going to do what I want it to do. But now that I got it open.
I'm dead.
That's not at all what I want, but you know, kind of a cool plugin. I never really messed with that one, to be honest with you. So I want to go for, where is it? Exciter, Imager. I think it's Imager. It might be Impact. I always get confused because I usually use the Ozone 12. This takes forever to load. What I notice when I'm on stream, some plugins just like don't want to fucking load. Because I'm like on Ecamm, it's like a screen capture kind of thing. So yeah, it just takes a lot longer for some reason. Okay, so this is really cool for me on the bass because what I want to do is only widen out a certain frequency, right? So let's say I wanted to widen out just this, like let's keep the bottom. Let's just solo. Let's find a good crossover point first. Okay, so this is really dope. So I have this bottom, right? This is like the low sub stuff. It's like everything below 100, right? And I can use this. I can spread this, you know, wider, or I can go more mono with it, which is really dope. And then I also can go in here. Let's add another band here. And let's go to that mid-range area, which I think is getting too pokey and starting to get on the vocals in the middle. And we'll start to widen this out a little bit, which will be really cool. It'll make it thicker.
Slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
Fucking cool, man. Yeah, I like that idea too. The chorusing. Dude, do both. I think both would be really sick. So, great example of that, like right after the ozone. Let's mess around with some shit. I don't know. I don't know, dude. You don't know until you hear it. You know, you might have an idea, but you got to test shit always. So maybe like one of my favorites would just be like a, I don't know, like a mode 2 here. And then we can just kind of blend this in. Depth, phase, yeah, all good. We'll switch between 1 and 2. Sometimes 1 is better, but I definitely don't want both on this. So this is not mono in, so let's go stereo. Let's go boom.
I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
Man, I fuck with it. I think it's really cool. I'm actually like starting to feel like we're shaping the record into something way cooler than it was. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. I love those moments also, like in sessions when you're producing, you're working with a musician or something. I had this the other day, like I put this guitar on this track and it's like, oh shit, that like locked in the vibe of the record. And I just love that. I love when one thing like just, that's the thing, man, that you really needed. You needed that like kind of wavy bass sound. And even on this, like, I feel like we could go a little bit more subby now, you know, like just give it that bottom, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it like a parallel send. And what we'll do is we'll go not to bus 6. Sorry, that's not what I want to do. I want to go to bus 16. And then this parallel send will make, come back to the all instruments. And what I'll do on this parallel send is just call this sub bass. Right? whatever. It doesn't fucking matter at all. We can do a couple things here. So what I might want to do, because what I'm worried about, why I'm going to do this, is because I'm worried about the bass not translating to all systems. Like if I play this on my phone right now, it probably wouldn't sound as cool. It's going to sound like, where'd the bass go? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Where's the bass at? So I'm going to send this to a parallel, and I'm just going to distort the fuck out of it, or just like compress it really hard with this harmonic analog saturation pro, right? And I'm just going to send 100% to this. And the cool thing about this plugin is post-processing, we have filters. And this is where this is really powerful. This is what I love. I love this master setting, and I love to take the dynamics way down, right? So I'm squashing the shit out of it. And then I'm going to drive it a little bit. And see, I love when I make videos like this and they're put into short form. Like I cut down a short form and someone's like, this guy's an idiot. He just fucking tweaks the shit and then he like doesn't even hear it. Like, dude, I've used this more times than I could even count. So of course I know what it's going to sound like. I have some inclination of what it's going to sound like as I twist these knobs and I send this thing to it. I just already know because I've used it a fucking million times. Like, it's not presets. It's exactly what I know about these plugins from doing this for 20 years, you know? Like, all right, so I digress. Let's go here and let's take this filter pretty steep. Yeah, we'll go really steep. And we'll leave the low cut off, right? And what we're going to do is we're just going to filter. Okay, check this out.
Dead. Has been slipping away from my view. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can't.
Dude, if that's not sexy, I don't know what the fuck's sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's probably a lot sexier things. Sexy is maybe the wrong word. Going here, let's go into like a Moog filter. Like we just want like something like a Moog filter. I don't even know if I have this, but we'll see. Nope. All right. So we're not going to use the Moog filter. I just have this idea of like an analog filter in my head because I use a shit ton of analog synths. I actually just got the Moog Muse, right? And I've been fucking around with those filters and they are just absolutely ridiculous. So much fun to play with. Okay, so filter mini, this could be good. Like a mini filter is probably what we really want. So for example, I'll go back to the harmonics here, right? And we can go here and we can take this off. Let's just open it fully on. And then we'll go to the Moog filter and let's go to the cutoff frequency and use this so we can emphasize it and mess around with this analog style filter. God, that makes me so fucking happy. Like, you guys have no idea. I get so happy about this shit. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm weird. And I'm sure you guys are pretty fucking weird too. Like, if you're on this stream right now. Like, if you're here right now, you're a fucking weirdo. You're like, oh man, yeah, let's mix, let's put plugins on, let's make this song sound cool, you know? like, you guys are weird fucking people. But I love it. I love it. This shit just like makes me happy. When something like, I don't know, there's like certain things, the sounds, like when you get a sound locked in and you go like, oh dude, like give you little chills, your hair stand up, you know, you're like, oh, I love that. It just feels good. So here, other thing I'm going to do here is right after this, I'm going to limit. Okay. So I'm going to go L1 on this just to fucking smash it. Okay. And, what we're going to do is go like this, because remember, this is going to be a parallel thing, right? I'll go auto release on this. We don't want to hear too much of that fuzz, right? We don't want to hear that. I'm really just trying to limit this, like brick wallet. All right, we might just get a little bit of that fuzz, and that's okay. Now we're going to blend it in.
Dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can't feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view. Dead. Lost in space again. Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day.
Do you notice something like that's really cool? Is the vocals all of a sudden became like have more space, like automatically, because we got the bass out of the way of the vocals. We got other things out of the way of the vocals by doing these kind of mix moves. You know, the chorusing of the bass, dude, that was a fucking like, I feel like a genius for that one. You guys show some love, throw some thumbs up if you guys like this. Like, seriously, show some love. Because I'm about to get out of here unless you guys are like, yeah, man, let's fucking go. Let's get it. What's up? What's up? Sounds dope. Yeah, it's really fun, man. Okay, so could you explain a bit about panning, stereo track versus converting to a mono? Example, bass recorded in stereo. Thanks. So yeah, stereo bass is the same thing as mono. Like, it's the same shit because you're really getting the same left and right. We call it big mono. I mean, if you have the same exact thing on the left and the right, for example, here we go. See this? Same fucking thing, right? Your ear is just going to make it mono. Like it's exactly the same on the left and right. So it's just going to be mono, okay? So this is the hard thing for people to understand. We have two ears. The way we hear things is if there's a difference on the left and right, timing, frequency, whatever else, that's what makes it sound different and widens things out and makes it sound stereo, right? We hear a difference in our ears. If it's exactly the same on the left and right, it's damn near mono. It's the same fucking thing. So this bass being in stereo, like fucking bounce it to mono if you want to. Like if it makes you happy and you're like, oh man, I really need that to be mono. I'm really glad that it's not mono because now we're doing a bunch of stereo shit on it. But that's the difference, man. Like the difference between left and right is what makes something sound stereo. Always. That's why there's certain plugins, like for example, if we go to the master bus and we turn on, God, what's a good example of this? I mean, really anything from Plugin Alliance, right? Plugin Alliance, go to AMEC EQ 250, right? If we go here, we can see here, right? See this? 1, 2. So you have these different channels. And if I go random channel, it's going to say 8 and 9, 3 and 4, 2, 3, whatever, right? The idea here is that you're going through a console or whatever, and you're getting a difference between left and right. So these differences that they modeled off of whatever console they're using, right? Or whatever channels they're using of the AMEC that they did this model on, is there's differences. There's non-linearities on these different channels because it's a discrete channel on the left and a discrete channel on the right, 12 and 13, right? So if there's differences, our ear's going to hear this difference and it's going to make it sound more wide, more deep and different. That's why people love analog, right? And that's why all these plugins try to model analog stuff, like 100%. There's no plugin that doesn't try to mimic what analog has already done, you know? Like, here you go, analog. Pro Q4, it's a little different. It's digital EQ, but really like this comes from GML EQs and all the other EQs that were ever made analog, right? We're talking about resistors, transistors, like it's just fucking EQ, right? And then, yeah, Goldfoss EQ, right? Analog. This is all analog stuff. Like it all started with analog. So anything digital is modeling the way and mimicking the way that we learned, you know, audio and music non-linearities from analog. Of course, those digital plugins and those EQs are trying to be really specific and precise and trying to make everything exactly the same, right? Left and right, not have non-linearities in it. But they all stem from that same kind of idea. Let me see. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense at all. It's probably time for an ear break for me, honestly. Yes, got to get the frequencies, baby. Yes, music is absolutely magic. Yes, I'm a genius. Finally, someone said it. I'll take that, dude. I'll claim that shit. Let's go. Let's go. Mono maker. Yes. Good point. Good point. That's what I love about that as well. And it's funny because I was literally just thinking about doing that on this, right? So I'm glad someone said it. So here at the end of the L1 limiter, right? And I know I'm limiting. It doesn't fucking matter because all I'm going to do here, like if I wanted to, which I don't know if I want to, but we can try it, is go into Plugin Alliance and turn on any of their EQs, and it's going to have a mono maker on it. So let's just go to like the dynamic BX Digital V3, right? Or V3 Mix, rather. Okay, on here, we're going to have a mono maker, and that is going to be, where is it? Do we have a mono maker on this one? Am I a liar? I'm probably lying to everybody. Fast, slow, gain scale. I wonder why. I wonder why this doesn't have a mono maker on it. I know that the master one does. Weird. I thought all their shit had mono maker on it, like the BX Digital stuff. Let's try BX V3, just the regular V3. I know this does, right? Stereo section, mono maker, right? So now I can take anything 21, 22K and below and make it mono, or 300 and below and make it mono. Obviously for this, I just go all the way up and make it mono. So now this is going to mono the stereo track.
I'm getting washed.
All right, so the difference here, you know, I just said like, oh, it's the same thing, left and right stereo. The difference you're getting, because you're hearing differences in left and right, because when I turn mono maker on, you hear it get mono. It gets way more centered. The reason being is because we have harmonics, right? Which is treating the left and the right differently. Like I said, these plugins are going to model what their analog counterparts do, and they have non-linearities on the left versus right channel. So this filter is probably doing the most of it, right? The filter mini. This is modeling what a Moog filter would do, and it's going to have non-linearities to the left and right. L1, that's not going to have any non-linearities. I'd hope it wouldn't. And then when you go mono maker, because of these plugins ahead of it, it's going to sound way different. But otherwise, it would just sound like a drop in volume for the most part. Another thing. Let's just bypass all these. This send here is post, right? So it's going post the plugins. So we already have the widening. That's totally my bad. So check this out. So on this, we want to right click on it and we want to go to pre-fader. Okay, now listen to what it sounds like coming off just the stereo sub bass. This is the parallel. No, that's still post plugins, right? So you can hear what's happening here. This return, this stereo, is still going post these plugins that are adding the chorusing and the widening and everything. So we have to figure out how we can do this. Pre-fader, post-pan, maybe? Let's try this. Yeah, so the only way to do it, I think in Logic, which is super fucking lame, man. this should be, yeah, this should be completely independent pan. No, that's different. Okay. All right. So the way to do it is to just duplicate the track, unfortunately. So go duplicate and we'll bring this down. And now we have this stereo bass and we'll get rid of all these plugins, right? Go boop, 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 beep, 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 boop, beep, beep, boop, right? And we'll get rid of that send and we'll get rid of that send. And now we have a direct copy. And here is the stereo bass. Okay, that's our stereo bass, no effects or anything. But now we want to take these from the sub bass, drag it over, right? And we want to do this. And we want to bring these guys over here. Got it? We could also just save that as a channel strip if we wanted to, but now we can do our mono maker on this, or you could bounce it out mono if you wanted to do that as well. So here we're going to just label this sub bass. Kind of lame that we have to do that. You would think that you could just like send a send before the inserts, but it doesn't look like I can do that unless someone has the answer to that. So now if we go, just turn this on, right? Mono maker, no other plugins. Like your ear is not going to hear the difference. You might hear a gain difference, but it's the same thing. Like if you have left and right the same, it's mono. Okay. Makes sense? Like even if you hear a mono signal coming out of stereo pair of monitors, right? You're like, oh, it's mono, but it's coming out left and right speakers. What do you think is fucking happening? It's mono, mono, mono signal coming out of a stereo pair of monitors. It's mono. It's the same left and right, okay? It's not going to come out of one speaker. It's not coming out of the center speaker. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense. Now, let's get this sub bass back to where we had it. Let's go here and let's turn on the mono maker and let's hear this. Yeah, so it's basically the same, right? So I don't even need the mono maker. And I guess all the shit I said about these being non-linear and modeling that was all bullshit and I lied to you. You know what I'm saying? So like this is not doing anything different to left and right. All these plugins are doing the same thing to the stereo. And I'm going to take the emphasis down on this because I think that's what's making it peak out a little bit more. Beautiful. Now let's blend this in to the track.
I'm just out here lost in space again, talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're and washed away now. I can't feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
I think we got a really cool bass sound. I think that's really the vibe of the record. But yeah. Yes, you nailed it. I think you nailed it on that one. What do you got here? If you set harmonics to tube, I think it adds some saturation difference in left and right. I think. Gotcha. Yeah, maybe. I highly doubt that, to be honest with you. You're saying with this, turning it to tube, and then we'd have some non-linearities. I don't really have a way of testing that, but yeah. Transformer's actually pretty thick. I like this one. Now the modern is still my favorite, actually, like between the master and the modern. But I think this modern is perfect for what I'm trying to do. You can do a lot of different stuff with the sub bass. I really won't go too far into it because it's just not worth it. You know, like getting a 0.3% improvement on the bass is just not worth the time or the effort. So now right here on the lead, okay, the one thing I noticed a lot is when he gets to these lower notes. So I tuned it.
I need to breathe, searching so lonely, nowhere to go, take. I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I know.
All right, so let's listen to the reference, because that part right there to me sounded pitchy. Let's see if we fixed it with Metatune. And I love Metatune, by the way. Like, that's like a go-to for me. All right, so here we go. Boom.
I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here.
Yeah, you hear how that's all pitchy.
I'm just lost out here, I know. I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I'm just lost out here, I know.
Sorry, I'm sure you guys were just hearing double there. But yeah, that's how I would do it. Little Metatune on there, very simple. You can hear also in his reference, he has like kind of a room or a space around his vocal. I really like that idea. So what I'm going to try and do is make it an organic sounding room, which is very simple, right? Like we're going to take all these vocals and we're going to, oh, what did I have it going to here? What is this? Yeah, it's just like a Vox verb short. Okay, so I already had this idea. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Altiverb and I'm going to give it a room. So I'm going to go to like a studio room. And I think that's kind of the idea here is just keep it like a short room sound. You can even go into these different like, you know, you have religious, studio, scoring stage, etc. You could find something like a miscellaneous and then find like a living room, right? One of my favorite reverbs in this is there's a studio like entryway that I really like. Let's see if I can find it. It's like the entryway to a studio, which I thought was really cool. And it sounded really good. Maybe it actually is in miscellaneous, huh? Let's see here. Yeah, see, these are all kind of rooms. Rehearsal room. This kind of looks cool. I like this idea. Let's just see what this is going to sound like. And we'll just flip through some stuff here just to get the room sound.
I'm just out here lost in space again, talking to myself, where'd all my friends go?
I fuck with that heavy. It just like gave that like it has that like mid-range to it. Really, really nice. Okay, so this also needs to make sure, yeah, we're going to all Vox there. All good. And then we might do like another reverb on the vocal. You notice I'm not like doing any like compression or anything, right? Because I don't want this vocal to sound all super processed, you know what I mean? So what I'll do on this maybe is go to like a vocal writer, you know, and we'll do like we'll just do some vocal writing so we don't lose certain words, okay? So I'm gonna bring this to like here, whatever.
Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
Yeah, is that so crazy? Like you don't need a compressor all the time, right? Sometimes you just want to keep the vocal up. And I think it sounds really good and natural. And what I would want to do is not EQ, not compress, not do anything with this vocal. I want this vocal to sound like he's singing in a room. And I think we're getting that. We're getting that idea across.
Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
Like, it already sounds like a record just bringing his vocals up. Okay, so now next thing I want to do is I want to hit this with a de-esser. So I'm going to use the fab just because I know how to freak this really quickly. All right, so I'm going to take this here. I'm going to go here on the range. I'm going to take it up to like 5.7. And I know he's going to be sitting right around the 5 to 8K area. And yeah, that's all I'm going
to do. Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? 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 I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
Sounds so good. That, dude, that room reverb, like, that's everything. I'm going to bypass it in and out.
Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone. I'm getting washed away now. I can't feel you.
All right, so very simple. This part right here, clip it, gain it, right? Just bring it up, because I can't feel you. I feel like we're losing that.
I can't feel you. Sure has been slipping away from my view.
So the only thing I'd want to do is these doubles here. I want to send these to the room as well. All right. See how like basic this is though? Like I'm going to just bring this over. Like this is basic for the vocals because the vocals don't, you have to know when to not fuck with something. Like it's well recorded. This is the vibe of the record. If the artist says, dude, I want this to be like way more spacious and like more otherworldly. Okay, cool. We're going somewhere else. But that's not what he's saying to me. So just make this really natural sounding. And there's no better way to make it natural sounding than just using very subtle moves. Volume riding, a little bit of metatune on a very kind of light speed, 30 milliseconds, 26 milliseconds, just catching that pitch, little bit of pro DS, just getting rid of the T's, the P's, the S's, stuff like that. And then just sending to a room, like straight up. And now these doubles, you might want to give them more room or less room. I don't know.
Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
All right, so with the doubles, right? We might want to take just a touch of the mid-range out, right? Like for me, what I'm hearing is go in with an EQ, just any EQ, but I'm going to use, of course, I'm going to use Pro Q4 because it's just, like I said, it's a workflow thing straight up. All right, so check this out. I'm going to go here and we're going to just take out just a little bit of the body here.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
All right, keep that for the lead vocal. That's kind of the idea that I have here. And it might be wrong. I might have the wrong intuition, but that's what mixing is. It's like paint and then go back. It's modular,
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
Feels a little smoother, right? Like it like smooths things out a little bit. You feel me? And another thing that I like to do on EQ is just shelf down something, like even just taking this and shelving it down. Like it's a warm record.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
Another thing that does for the doubles is it makes them go back a little bit in the mix, okay? Because you're not having that direct high end in your face there.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
Really cool. Let's focus on the mid-range on these vocals. So I'm going to tighten this up just a touch, and then I'm going to go here and go to like this 900 to a 1K area.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
Yeah, I love that. It feels really warm. Now, you know, you let the artist say, "Hey man, give me a little bit more high end in the vocals on those doubles." You know what I'm saying? But for me, I'm just going to be like, "Okay, bump that up." That's all I'm going to do. I'm just trying to find that sweet spot. And that's kind of the key to mixing. It's like you just go back and forth and you find the sweet spot and then you go, that feels right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so bus 1. Now let's work on vocal mix bus, okay? So this is the vocal mix bus and this is bus 1 and we are not going to use an EQ. Fucking EQ. You know, we're going to EQ with a compressor. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we don't need an EQ on everything. I'm going to use something that's going to just kind of give me a little vibe and shape and a little bit of warmth. So again, I think I'm going to default to the Unfair Child. Yeah, I'm going to go to this guy. And I'm just going to barely touch this. And we're going to give this some glue. So let's see if we got any presets. No, doesn't look like there's any presets. Maybe I'm missing something though. Yeah, here we go. All right. User presets. I just want like vocals, lead vocals, soul vocals. Perfect.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
So that sounds so good to me. We're just going to make up the gain. If I could find the makeup gain on this motherfucker, there should be, it's usually down here on a Fairchild, but maybe I'm just missing it here. Oh, there's probably an output. Yeah, there we go.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. 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 I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
So there's like a couple parts where like, oh, till I'm dead, you know, like I want to maybe do some groovy, like chorusy delay stuff where it's like, you know, like a tape kind of thing. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, dude, this is like just that, putting just that compressor on the vocal mix bus feels really good to me. It just feels really like the vocals came forward just a little bit, right? They stand at attention a little bit more. There's a little bit more perceived loudness. I've pretty much gain matched it. You know, I got 4 dB down on this and we're only doing like, yeah, I guess it's probably the input gain that's really, you know, cranking. But I find that if you push into a Fairchild with the gain, you're pushing into the tubes and you get a little bit more distortion. This plugin has some additional features like the total harmonic distortion being separate. So you can actually bring that up. I have it up 3.3. And then actually what I'd love to do is just to balance this out. And I know my ears are tired. I'd usually take a break by now. I'd work for about an hour and a half and then I'd take a break. But I would just blend this back on the mix knob.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
Sounds amazing, right? It's gluing it all together really well. The only other thing that I'm hearing is a little bit more de-essing that I'll need on this vocal mix bus after the compression. So I'm just going to use the re-esser to very, very lightly hit the sibilants. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. We're just going to bring this down like a very, very minute little touch.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I can't feel you, sure has been slipping away from my view. I need to breathe, this ocean's so lonely. No, I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I'm okay when I'm with you every day. I don't know where you're gone, I'm getting washed away now. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
All right, that's sounding really good to me. Okay, so we're just de-emphasizing some of that low end stuff, and this is giving a little bit of enhancement, like drive. It's a lot like what Spectre does, the other Waves Factory plugin. That's like built into this is what I hear when I use it. And then we're just touching the sibilants just a touch. So we can also turn up and down smoothing. You know, we might want to mess around with a little bit of that, but I don't hear any problem with that. And then I almost wanted to like try an effect. Like I wanted to try chorusing, and then like sometimes I'll experiment with this kind of thing. I'll be like, oh, this is, maybe I'll throw this on here, you know? And then I'll find moments to use the effect, right? Once I dial something in. Like, for example, this is like depth at 100%. We'll take this down a little bit, and we'll take the speed down. I like a really slow chorus, and then we'll start to mix this in.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead.
So this is kind of like a vibe for a part, right? So I might want to print, like, here's a good example of what I would do here.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I'll be left adrift until I'm dead. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling. I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
Okay, so I'm hearing artifacting on the sibilants when I'm using it with the chorusing. So I'm going to turn this off, right? So that's completely off. And I'm going to get rid of this EQ. And we're going to leave all this the same, right? So this is all good. Now I'm going to go to the vocal mix bus. Or actually, I think I can just highlight all of these. All right. Go here and then bounce in place. Bounce region cells in place. And we're going to go Vox affected chorus, right? And then we're going to leave that And we're going to include volume pan automation. I don't know why I'm doing that, but there you go. There you go, boys and girls. All right, now we have, boom, we have just our affected chorus kind of vibe here. We're going to go back to the re-esser here, and we're going to turn off the chorusing. And we're going to take our sibilants back down. I think like just a little tiny beat. And these, and we're good there. All right, and now we have this kind of thing where we can just pop this in on different parts. And a lot of the times, if you want to take this chorusing kind of thing and really make an effect moment for it, till I'm dead, you know, like we can delay that as well. So let's find this.
I'm just out here lost in space again. I'm just out here lost in space again.
So perfect example, right? So now we have this affected chorus thing, right? Let's bring it off grid by like, you know, a quarter note, whatever, right? And then let's throw like a reverb on it, you know, crystalline, doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to show you how I would build some effects for this. And let's go like vocals and go like background vocal ring. No. Okay, dark vocal, fancy vocal verb. Sure. I don't really care right now. I'm just going to show you what I'm trying to do here.
I'm just lost in space again.
All right, now we got this like chorusy kind of thing, right? Space again, right? We'll just get rid of that. We'll mute that. And then we can throw this through crystalline, kind of bring this up. I feel like we can really get it like that.
I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to myself.
Like how fucking vibey is that, right? So now, let's just hear this, just this again thing.
I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to myself.
Pretty vibey, right? So yeah, it's a delay throw, like a vocal throw, but we're going to just like really craft it and make it our own, you know? Like you could even put, after the crystalline, you could go to like, UAD has that like tape thing, which I fucking love this shit. This you can have a lot of fun with. Where is it? Waterfall Verve analog machine. Yeah, this is really fun. And I like this one if I'm going to make something like really vintage. And then it has kind of like some warble and stuff. And we can do some drive. Just check it out.
I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to myself, where do my friends go?
See how we're now making this a record? We're making this a vibe by doing this stuff. This is why people pay me, you know? Like, they don't just pay me to balance and compress. Like, a lot of people can do that on their own, you know? We don't need more mixing engineers that throw fucking isotope ozone on and hit auto button. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need creative producer type mixing engineers. That's what the industry needs.
I'm just out here lost in space again.
And I almost just want that again, right? Again.
I'm just out here lost in space again.
You could even just go in here and like find where you want things, right? Like, for example, I might take this guy here and like bring him, you know, here. Or you can set the grid to like 8th notes, you know, like get in a little deeper and like really hit that 8th note. There.
I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to my... I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to myself, where do my friends go? I just...
Like, obviously, the crystalline is adding a delay, right? So that's the problem, is that we have this kind of like delay that's happening with the crystalline, but that means you'd have to like time it out a little bit better because it's like, for example, if I get rid of the crystalline here, you'll hear what I'm saying.
I'm just out here lost in space again.
Right? It's again, right? It happens right away. But like with the crystalline, you get this big delay because of the reverb. So you really want to like just figure out exactly where you want it. But yeah, man, like this would be something I would do next, is just like go through and really produce these vocals. And like you could see here, like again is happening here. It's like ahead of the beat, right? So this is where you want to make sure that this is also ahead of the beat, right? Match it up. In Pro Tools, we would use relative grid, right? Relative grid mode, if that makes sense. And we'd figure out exactly what's going on here. So you have like that happening there, and then you probably want to match that. So if I went there, and then I'd go there, maybe. That would be like an eighth note kind of vibe.
I'm just out here lost in space again. Talking to myself, where'd all my friends go? I'm just out here lost, where my friends go?
And like, I hate that. Like, I wouldn't want to go like friends go. I'd want that to be like go, you know? So if I chop that there, friends go.
Friends go. Friends go. Friends go.
This is a really fun one too, is I don't like to have like the same delay throw on everything. I think that sounds really boring and it sounds dated. It's like 2005 to me, you know, where you have like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, you know. You really want to like kind of throw like, oh, here's an eighth note one, here's like a dotted eighth note, here's like a 16th throw, you know. You want to kind of mess with them. And I also like the fact that I can do this in Logic, where I can speed up, slow down. So I could speed this up and slow it down here, right? And this will give you kind of like a tape stop kind of idea. So if I wanted to kind of have something a little bit different on this one where it's repeating, and then you could of course like go in here and take the gain down so it sounds more like a delay. You can also pitch this down, like go into transpose and just like go, okay, you know what, I want to take this down 3, which is probably a bad idea. I would probably fine tune it down 12, you know, so it actually makes sense. But try this out.
Where'd all my friends go?
Right, it just starts to sound kind of ghostly. So I think that's really cool because it kind of fits the vibe of the record to me. So where'd all my friends go? It's like this empty void. Yeah, that speed up is not really working. We'd have to go here and take that off. Just like fade in. We'll take this. Oops. Go like this. We'll do this. Right? So just kind of like go through and make everything really kind of interesting and texturized. Yeah, I don't really like the tape stop idea. I thought I'd like it, but you know, fuck it. Remove fade out. I hate that you have to like go in here and remove. I guess there is a key command for it, looks like. Yeah, so go. I would want like go. You know what I mean? Like go. This kind of idea here. And then I would just like bring these down. You could have this one down like, let's just leave that one. And then we'll go here, down, and then we'll go this down to like 12, 24. Right.
I just cannot seem to shake the feeling.
It's also fun sometimes to like chop things, like chop the actual phrase here, right? Go like that. And obviously you want to put like fades on it and stuff so it doesn't go, you know, right?
I just can't go. I just seem to show where all my friends go. I just
like that's a vibe to me, man. I also like throwing vibrato on stuff. Like vibrato is really fun. I think these should be longer, and I'm also gonna take the fade, make it like that. Boom. That's good. Anyway, that's what I want to show you guys today. Hopefully you guys really like this and you got a lot out of it. If you did, make sure you show some love on the other videos. Subscribe to the channel, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to keep bringing you guys cool stuff and try my best to show you game and, you know, do these live mix kind of things as much as I can. The more you guys support the channel, the more I can do this stuff. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't pay me. Like, this does not pay me to, like, get on a live stream. You know what pays me, though? If you want me to mix and master your record, you can check out my mix and master packages where, you know, I have 3 different tiers. I have the link in the chat. So if you want to book a mix and master, I'm booked out until 2026. So you got to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get in for 2026, you book it now, and then we can get to your record by, you know, January, first week in January. All right. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Ableton everywhere. We got Ableton. Yeah, dude, just have fun, make some cool shit. When you mix, when you produce, be creative about it. You know, learn the tools so you can be creative and break everything. That's kind of the idea that I go with. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll try to do a next stream pretty soon here. Again, I'm mixing a shit ton of records and stuff right now. So the more the clients are cool with me doing live streams on their music, the more I can do this stuff. And the more you guys support the channel, the more I'll actually want to come on here and share this shit with you guys. All right. Peace.